students and friends. We were discussing chapter number 6, the molecular basis of inheritance. In this chapter, now we are going to start with a new topic, what we call it as regulation of gene expression. So students, we are going to start with a regulation of gene expression. So see students, the regulation of gene expression that occurs in a prokaryotic as well as in a eukaryotic cell. The regulation of gene expression in the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cell that occurs at the different levels. It is a very broad term, and here the expression of a gene is regulated. Remember, it's a regulated. See, you know the regulator, you might have seen the regulator of a fan, which may increases the speed or it also decreases the speed. Means in short you can say that it regulates. Clear? So similarly here, either it promote a gene expression or inhibit a gene expression. Both kind of a thing that happens. When there is a necessity, then it promote its expression. When there is no necessity, then it inhibit the expression of a gene. So this is called as regulation of gene expression. Now before I start this topic, regulation of gene expression, you know the basic step. Here you know that the DNA that is produces the DNA, okay, by a process called as replication. From this DNA, what is going to be produced? mRNA is going to be produced. That is by a step, you can call it as transcription. And from mRNA, what is going to be produced? It's a protein is going to be produced, and that is by a step called as translation. Clear? So now what happens? Here, the replication that occurs at the different levels in the eukaryotic cell. So what are the different levels at which the regulation of gene expression occurs in a eukaryotic cell? In a eukaryotic cell, I am writing the eukaryotic cell, and then I will discuss the prokaryotic cell. In case of a eukaryotic cell, the first regulation occurs at the formation of primary transcript. So here it occurs at formation of primary transcript. Primary transcript, that means the initial mRNA which is going to be produced, initial mRNA, you can also call it as initial mRNA, or you can also call it as primary mRNA. At this step, the regulation may occur in a eukaryotic cell. This is the first level. The second level at which the regulation occurs in the eukaryotic cell is during processing of mRNA. That is a primary mRNA. You know the processing, that means you know the different processing called as splicing. We have learned this, okay? Or you can say that there is a removal of introns or exons, or you can say capping and tailing. These are the processes, okay? During this, the regulation of gene expression occurs. Here the primary transcript or the primary mRNA is produced. On this primary mRNA, different processes occurs. So during these processes of primary mRNA, even the regulation of gene expression occurs. The third, the regulation of gene expression occurs while transfer of mRNA from nucleus to cytoplasm. This is the place where the gene expression gets regulated. And the fourth level where the gene expression occurs, it is at a translation level. It is at the level of translation. So these are the four levels. These are the four levels where the regulation of gene expression occurs. So which are the four levels? During the formation of primary transcript, during the processing of primary mRNA, third, the transfer of mRNA from nucleus to cytoplasm, and fourth, at the translation level. So this is the regulation of gene expression occurs in the eukaryotic cell. While in a prokaryotic cell, In which cell? The prokaryotic cell. The regulation of gene expression that occurs during the initiation step. During which step? Initiation. You know that there are 3 steps in the transcription process of a prokaryotic: initiation, elongation and termination. So during this initiation, okay, where the formation of mRNA starts, during that, in prokaryotic cell, the regulation of gene expression occurs. Okay, so this is regulation of gene expression in eukaryotic and the prokaryotic cell. Now here the question that comes into our mind: why there is a need to regulate a gene expression? Why there is a need to regulate a gene expression? See here, during the expression of a gene, the DNA forms a mRNA, mRNA forms a protein. Here the protein that is going to be produced, it has either structural or functional role in our body. એનું કંઈક કામ હશે. બરાબર છે? So this protein should not be produced when it is not required, and it should be produced when it is required. જ્યારે જરૂર હોય ત્યારે બનવો જોઈએ, જ્યારે જરૂર ના હોય ત્યારે ના બનવો જોઈએ. It should not be like that. The DNA is present in our body, so it should be continuously be produced. Like take for example, you know that in our gastric juice there is an enzyme called as pepsin. This pepsin is required for the digestion of a protein. But this enzyme is required while digestion of a food or while digestion of a protein. It is not required all the days, all the 24 hours, it is not going to be required. So this enzyme, pepsin enzyme, should be produced when a digestion is necessary. And its production should be stopped when the digestion is over. So this is the reason why it has to be regulated. Digestion થતું હોય ત્યારે બનવું જોઈએ, digestion ના થતું હોય ત્યારે બંધ થઈ જવું જોઈએ. Similarly, in our body, there are lots of functions that happens. That functioning that requires at a specific time. Okay? And hence, it is required a regulation of gene expression. The gene is already present in DNA. It should not be expressed always. It should be expressed whenever it is required. And it should stop its expression when it is not required. That means it should be regulated. And thus, a regulation of gene expression is required in the living organism. We will understand this regulation of gene expression in the prokaryotic cell, specifically in the E. coli cell, with an example of a leg operon. Leg operon is very famous model, so we will understand this regulation of gene expression with an example. So let's start with a leg operon, which is very important one. Okay? Till now we have studied at which level the regulation of gene expression occurs in eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Even we have also discussed that why the regulation of gene expression is necessary. And now it's an example how the gene regulation occurs in prokaryotic cell that I am explaining you with an example of leg operon. What is a leg operon? Here the leg it indicates for lactose. What is the meaning of leg? It is a lactose. And what is an operon? Operon, it is a structure or it's a part of a DNA which has a specific sequences. This is called as operon. It's called as an operon. Now both words combine together and it forms a leg operon. The leg operon system can be explained in bacteria. Which bacteria? It is E. coli, Escherichia coli. Okay? In E. coli, what happens? In case of a E. coli, the E. coli take a molecule called as lactose. Now this lactose, it is break down or hydrolyzed with the help of enzyme and it converts to a glucose and galactose, which is serving as an energy source for a bacteria. This is providing the energy source for a bacteria. When we provide a lactose to a E. coli bacteria, the enzyme present in E. coli hydrolyzes the lactose, convert it to a glucose and galactose, which are the sources of energy. So this is what happens in case of an E. coli. Okay. Now, when there is a lactose absent, the process should stop. Whenever the lactose present, this process should occur. That means the enzyme which is required over here should be produced. And when the lactose is absent, this enzyme should not be produced. Okay. And thus, we will learn this in this model called as lac operon. But now you know that what is the function of enzyme for hydrolysis of lactose. In a E. coli, the enzyme hydrolyzes the lactose to a glucose and the galactose. Which enzyme? That I will show you. Okay. So let us first see how the process occurs and understand the different parts of a operon. Okay. So let's start with the different parts of a operon. And then we will understand the lac operon. So I am drawing the structure of a operon. This is a structure of operon. It is a sequence of DNA. What this sequence of DNA contains? This sequence of DNA, first of all, it contains regulator gene. What it contains? Regulator gene. Then it contains a promoter site. What it contains? Promoter site. Then it contains operator site. These all three can also be called as regulator genes. And apart from that, here it also contains three structural genes. Okay, in a lac operon consists of regulator genes. These are the regulator genes. I am showing over here. These are the regulator genes. And structural genes. These all three are the structural genes. Here it is a regulator. Here the I that is indicating it's not an inhibitor, it is a repressor molecule. Okay, clear? So now what is going to be happen? There are two conditions. The first condition, that is when lactose is absent, and the other condition when the lactose is present. So what happens in both the conditions? When lactose is present, you know that the enzyme should be produced, and when lactose is absent, enzyme is not produced. So you should know the basic structure. It consists of Ig, P, O, Z, Y, A. Okay, Z, Y, A, they are responsible for structural genes. Okay. Now what is the function of this Z, Y, A? First of all, I will explain you and then we will start. The function of Z, the Z is responsible for enzyme, translation of an enzyme called as beta-galactosidase. Which enzyme? Beta-galactosidase. This beta-galactosidase breaks down lactose to a glucose and galactose. This enzyme breaks the lactose into glucose and galactose. Which one? Beta-galactosidase, which is encoded by a gene Z. This is the meaning of Z. Z is for enzyme beta-galactosidase. Y? Y is an enzyme. It's for beta-galactoside permease. Which one it's a? Beta-galactoside permease. It is required for entry of lactose into a cell, E. coli cell. Okay, and the A gene is coding for beta-galactoside transacetylase. It is responsible for acetylation of it is molecule for lactose. So these are the three structural genes Z, Y, A. Remember, Z is for enzyme beta-galactosidase that is responsible for hydrolysis of lactose into glucose and galactose. Y is for beta-galactoside permease, responsible for entry of lactose into a cell. And the A, it's for beta-galactoside transacetylase, responsible for acetylation of lactose molecule. Now what happens? First of all, I will show you what happens in absence of a lactose molecule. See, this I I gene here in lac operon, the I gene is a constitutive gene. Constitutive gene, that means they are constantly expressed. Whether the stimulus is present or absent, they are constantly expressed. That means it's called as constitutive gene. So whether the lactose is present or absent, it doesn't matter to it. It is constantly expressed and produces its mRNA. Here the mRNA of it is going to be produced. Now from this mRNA, here the protein is produced, which is tetramer in nature. This protein is going to be produced. That means always it is a constitutive in nature. So due to this I gene, always this tetramer protein is produced. Okay, always this tetramer protein is produced. When this tetramer protein is produced, if you see its structure, it can easily bind with an operator gene. It will easily bind with an operator gene. Here it will bind. When it binds to an operator gene, okay, it do not allow a promoter site to work. Promoter site to work. અને work કરવા નહીં દે, because here the operator gene has been occupied. So that's why કેવી રીતે work નહીં કરવા દે? The enzyme, you know that for transcription which enzyme is required? DNA dependent RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Here the tetramer has been occupied, or this protein has been occupied over here. So that's why this enzyme, RNA polymerase enzyme, cannot bind. કારણ કે એક જગ્યાએ એક જ જણ બેસી શકે. બે જણ એક સાથે કેવી રીતે આવી શકે? So here the space is occupied by this protein. So that's why the RNA polymerase enzyme cannot bind. And if it cannot bind, the process of transcription does not occur. Z માંથી, Y માંથી, A માંથી mRNA જ નહીં બને. And mRNA, if it is not produced, then the proteins, these proteins, because you know that enzymes are proteins, these proteins are not produced. And if the proteins are not produced, the lactose cannot be hydrolyzed. So obviously here the lactose is absent, here the lactose is absent. So this happens in this, when the lactose is absent. I again repeat, what happens when the lactose is absent? Remember, in this lac operon model, the I is a constitutive gene. Means એને કોઈ ફરક ના પડે કે lactose present છે કે absent. It is always expressed. It will express. So it produces the mRNA. From its mRNA, the tetramer protein is produced. Tetramer means 4. Tetramer protein is produced. When this tetramer protein is produced, it binds with the operator site. O means operator site. When it binds with the operator site, this enzyme, RNA polymerase, cannot bind with it and cannot promote or initiate transcription of ZYA, and even the translation of ZYA is not produced. Means enzymes are not produced. So when lactose is absent, enzymes are not produced. Now take another example, or take another conditions. Okay, when lactose is present, now what happens? Suppose assume that the lactose is present. This is a lactose molecule. The yellow color circle, it's a lactose molecule. These are the lactose molecule. Now what happens when the lactose molecule is present? When the lactose molecule is present, whether the lactose is present or absent, it doesn't matter. I is constitutive. So it produces its mRNA. And from this mRNA, the tetramer protein is produced. But now the lactose is present. So this lactose molecule binds with it. It binds with a tetramer protein. And when lactose binds with the tetramer protein, obviously its conformation or structure is changed. When its structure is changed, it cannot bind with this operator site. Operator site jode bind thai sakse nahi, because now its structure has been altered. Because binding is like a lock and key. Koi bhi lock ma na jaye. So here the binding does not occur because the tetramer protein has already bound to a lactose molecule. Now that means it indicates that the operator site is vacant, khali rehse. And so that's why this enzyme, RNA polymerase, can bind with this operator site, and here the transcription of enzyme takes place, transcription of its respective mRNA takes place. So amati mRNA banse, because now this transcription, from this its respective enzyme is produced. Like here from Z it is beta galactosidase, here from Y it is beta galactoside permease, and from A it is beta galactoside transacetylase. So these are the three enzymes which are going to be produced, and once the enzyme is produced, these three enzymes, it perform its work. એમનું કામ કરશે, whatever it may be. That means the lactose is hydrolyzed or lactose is metabolized. So here the enzymes, these enzymes are only produced when the lactose is present. If it was absent, then enzymes are not produced, and there is thus the regulation of gene expression takes place. And this model is called as lac operon. Why we are calling it as a lac operon? You know the meaning of operon? This is the structure of operon. Okay, it consists of regulator genes, structural genes, and the lac here, because here it is involved in the metabolism of a lactose. Okay, this type of a gene regulation, it's a negative. So this type of a gene regulation is called as negative gene regulation. Which kind of it is? It's not called as positive gene regulation, because the gene regulation can be of two types, positive and the second one is negative. Here it's a negative gene regulation because here this lactose molecule prevents a binding of this tetramer protein over here, prevents, inhibit. So it's kind of a negative action. So that's why this is called as negative gene regulation. So if you have been asked explain lac operon or negative gene regulation, then you have to explain what is the structure of operon, specifically lac operon, what happens when the lactose is absent, and what happens when the lactose is present. Clear? So you have to draw three different diagrams and then you have to explain. Okay, so that's all about it, regulation of gene expression. Okay, so students, learn it thoroughly, it's very important, and prepare it thoroughly. Okay, so students, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.